What's up, creatrixes and creators? I'm Wicked. I'm giving power back to the people, and you can't stop me. Over here on my channel, we are all about empowerment through the expansion of consciousness, and today I'd like to talk to you about reprogramming your mind. But before we dive in, go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up, and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so that I can keep helping you keep your third eye in the sky. This video is for everyone because we all have things that we would like to change. Whether it's breaking a bad habit or forming a new one, the tips I share in this video can help you take control over your life by neutralizing your biggest enemy, your own mind. Something that you need to understand is that your mind has already been programmed. Life did this for you while you were living passively. We as people are much more easily influenced than we would like to believe, and we're going to discuss that in depth. If you live your whole life without questioning your beliefs, you may think your thoughts are your own, but they're actually a combination of the beliefs of those who raised you had, as well as things you were influenced to believe, likely for a specific purpose, something like generating more sales to a specific company. You can probably see how we're influenced by those we're most around growing up, but I bet if you really think about it, you can see that you were also influenced by certain books, movies, characters, and music. This is especially true if you had negative forces to repel from. In these cases, you probably built an entire personality opposing the beliefs of these people who mistreated you. But when you got away, what did you do then? Did you reshape yourself? Some of you may have, but the vast majority of people do not self-reflect this way. If you don't self-reflect, you'll spend your whole life carrying around old energy and belief systems that likely don't serve you until a stronger external force comes in and reshapes those belief systems for you. It's kind of like the first guy who thought maybe he could fly, so he took the leap, but gravity reshaped his belief systems for him real quick. Now, sometimes we need these external forces to help guide us down a different path, but if you spend your whole life waiting for these hard external shoves from the universe, you're going to spend your entire life feeling powerless. And this will also make it easier for you to become a pawn for other, more dominant forces. Now, we're going to pause for a second here so I can explain that being the dominant influence, vibration, or energy is not about being a dickhead alpha male. In fact, society's current perspective of dominance is actually pretty fucking weak. If you believe you have to hold power over others to be the most dominant frequency, you're doing it wrong. To be the dominant vibration or to influence the situation is to hold complete dominion over you and you alone. You will find that the most effective way to do this is through love and compassion. As within, so without. So if you're loving yourself through life, that is going to be projected on those around you. Anyone who claims to be dominant and then attempts to hold power over another is one weak individual who's incapable of controlling themselves internally, so they seek to control others externally in order to feel valid. All I'm saying is that within a pack, wolves are actually pretty compassionate for one another. They take care of their own and they don't enslave others or make them pay taxes. If you don't like this correction of the alpha male, alpha wolf brand, just remember that wolves also eat their young when food is scarce, so you might have bigger issues when attempting to use this four-legged as your role model. Like I said, the alpha wolf, alpha male ideology is kind of like a brand, and companies have been capitalizing off of it for ages. Situations like these are just another threat to your mind, and let's talk about why. We live in a society where opinions are bought and paid for, and then broadcasted as cold, hard facts for marketing agendas. And we're exposed to this hundreds, if not thousands of times today, through advertisement both in the physical world and in the digital world, but mostly through other people. Companies have spent billions of dollars to find that the most effective way to advertise is by word of mouth. Then they spent billions of dollars more exploiting that system of trust between individuals, attempting to generate sales any way that they could. They use mantras or catchphrases and jingles to take up real estate in your brain. They use psychologically backed colors and designs to manipulate your opinions of their product, and then they exploit your emotions to ensure that you have a dramatic response to their commercials and overall brand. All of this to ensure that they're at the very least memorable, because when you're memorable, you get talked about. And all publicity is good publicity for these corporations at the end of the day. Some of these companies are so savvy they've even turned their products into a lifestyle. Now, we've discussed that your thoughts dictate your emotions, and your emotions dictate your vibrational frequency to the universe. But also, your thoughts dictate your emotions dictate your mood, and if the mood persists long enough, it becomes your personality. These companies are spending billions of dollars ensuring that their products influence your thoughts and emotions so that they can directly affect your mood. In doing so, they become the supplier of your good mood. Do you know what happens when someone else has the power to affect your mood? The power to giveth and taketh away that dopamine rush that only they can access? You lose your power. So just in case this isn't clear, companies are spending large sums of money, the size of which you and I probably couldn't even fathom, just to find the most cutthroat manipulation tactics in order to ensure you stay a slave to their product. Now, some people fight this and choose not to become a consumer, but even if you don't actually consume the product, it can still get into your head. If you learned anything from my videos so far, please let it be that the more focus you put into something, the more power you give it. That's just basic energy work. Now, whether they know it or not, and I'm willing to bet that they do, companies are ensuring their momentum by making sure that they are an active vibration. To be an active vibration, all you need to do is be relevant. The wider your reach, the more power you reap. Like for instance, I'm an active vibration in your life right now because you are watching this video. Life works a lot like an algorithm. That's why we modeled them the way that we did. You can see in the analytics how your engagement would empower me. I get the views or the likes, and this motivates me on a surface level to keep going. But let's look deeper at the conversation the universe is actually having. You watch my video and suddenly you and I are co-creators. You're sending your energy to me and I'm choosing to alchemize that how I see fit by turning it around and putting it back into my channel. The more people who watch my content, the more power I have to alchemize. Now, I'm just one individual and my intentions are pretty transparent, I think, but there are billions and billions of other people in the world, and most of them know more about manipulation and influence than you would probably even like to think about. In fact, we all do, and most of the time we have some pretty self-serving intentions. It's kind of just part of human nature. It's sort of part of that survival mode, but amplified. That's why most people don't want you to understand the energetic conversations and relationships happening in the world, because you might not like it and you might decide to take control back over your power, focus, and energy. However, this is exactly what I want. This is why I'm going to show you how, now that you can understand why this work is so important. At least, I hope you can. If it's not been made clear already, if you're not consciously programming your mind is being programmed for you by someone or something else. Through neuroplasticity, our brains are constantly being shaped and reshaped by our experience, both conscious and otherwise. The brain is rewired through the formation of a new neural pathway or a change due to constant repetition. A change in behavior requires you to take the new path more than the old one so that it becomes the path more well-traveled. So with all of this extensive prefacing out of the way, let's get down to business. How do you apply all of this to reprogramming your mind? You become self-aware. You figure out what isn't working and you make the choice to change it. In doing so, you carve a new neural pathway in your brain. Now, to ensure that you want to keep taking it, reward yourself every time you make the choice to follow that new pathway. The brain works through feedback loops, so if it has something positive to associate with the new behavior, it'll be more and more likely to choose that new pathway in the future in order to reap the benefits. So again, you become aware, you make the choice, you carve the path, and you enjoy the path. If you keep doubling down on these choices mindfully, it eventually just becomes second nature. Well, that's it. That's all it takes to reprogram. Can you see why all of the prefacing was necessary? In theory, reprogramming the mind is really simple, but it takes discipline to do so, and you're going to need to be motivated in order to practice that discipline over yourself. This is why you need to see all of the ways in which the world tries to rob you of your power. The truth is, most reprogramming is just a conscious unlearning of the belief systems the world has put into place for you. It takes 3 days to break a habit, 21 days to build a new one, and 3 months for it to be fully integrated into your being. Now, if any of this sounds daunting, remember that you're building momentum with this from day one. Sure, you might have some setbacks or some rough days, but as long as you trust your own process and keep returning to this, success cannot evade you. Here's a tip on how to reward yourself when you're forming new neural pathways. Play and music have some of the most extreme effects on the brain. You can reshape your behavior by making it a game or just simply having a really playful attitude about it. None of this is really that serious anyway, and no one makes it out alive. You can use music to reward your brain when it makes the correct choice by throwing on your favorite song. All you need is a quick dopamine rush for the brain to go, hey, that was a good idea, we should do that again in the future. Just make sure that the message and the energy is something that you really want to echo through your life. As I said, music has some of the most extreme effects on the brain, and it is extremely influential to your thoughts, emotions, experiences, and of course, your energy and energetic frequency to the universe. I'll probably do a video on how music affects us as spiritual beings in the future to come, but for now, just know that the limbic system, responsible for part of the processing of emotion and memory control, absolutely lights up when we listen to music. If you've been paying attention to me ever, you're going to know that your thoughts dictate your emotions dictate your frequency to the universe, and that dictates what you attract back to you. So if you don't like what you're manifesting, really consider switching up your playlist. This can be the small push that you need to get through that resistance. Music can be a huge hack in reprogramming your mind as well as in your manifestation practice. Another thing you can do to reprogram your mind or recalibrate your energy is the process of 3x3s, in which you write down your desire or your belief system 33 times in a row for 3 days in a row from an energetic state that matches that which you are trying to manifest. That means that if you're writing about something that is positive, extremely high vibrational, and feels really good, but you're doing so from a negative, shitty mood, then you're just not doing yourself any favors, and you're probably going to end up making a bigger energetic mess out of that which you're trying to manifest. Remember, you have to be in control of your energy. Now, with this process, you can reward your brain after every single time that you do it, and then when you're completely finished, you can burn away the pages to really release your intention back to the universe. Now, I've just said a lot, but the biggest takeaway here should be that we are influenced by every little thing we experience, even if it's only on the subconscious level. If you were paying attention in any of my other videos, you know that the subconscious is the one who is in constant concert with the universe, so you really want to make sure what is influencing everything that you've got going on in there. All that being said, mindfulness and self-control are really the only ways to get yourself to where you want to be, lest you be led astray by all of the overstimulating, controlling influences of the world. Consciously controlling your energy means deciding what you give your power to. So, in which ways should you reprogram your mind? Well, this is a question that I cannot answer for you, but I can say that if you follow some of the tips and messages in my alignment video, it's going to help you figure this out so much quicker. When you act from an aligned state and do what's really best for you, you're going to notice a quickening in this energy and the good momentum going forward while you really develop this process. I can also tell you that reprogramming myself to be more calibrated towards self-care, compassion, kindness, general enjoyment, and success is one of the best decisions that I have ever made, and it's definitely one of the best ways that I have ever used my energy because it is still continuing to benefit me today. It gave me a really solid base to build off of and allowed me to live a much happier life. Finding your own path with this is so worth it. Throughout this video, I'm sure you had lots of thoughts and ideas about how and where you can apply some of these techniques into your life. So my advice is to follow the best feeling idea and make your brain work for you. All you have to do is make the choice and double down on that choice every day until it becomes natural. But that's all I have for this one. Thank you so much for joining me, and make sure to like and subscribe so that I can help you keep your third eye in the sky. Stay blessed.